In today's video, we're going to take a look at the relationship between dry ice and Coke, how they react, and how big of a reaction we can get. You've probably seen some cool videos or played around with the reaction between Diet Coke and Mentos. This is a cool little experiment. The mint surface on these Mentos has tons of tiny points that work as nucleation sites inside of the soda. The nucleation sites pull the carbon dioxide out of the soda where it's dissolved, and it suddenly increases in size massively, erupting up out of the bottle. Lots of people have done experiments with this, and it's really fun to try at home as long as you're safe about it. Well, we want to try something else, and that's the relationship between these carbonated sodas and dry ice. The dry ice can act much the same as the Mentos with lots of tiny little nucleation sites. It pulls carbon dioxide out of the soda quickly, with the added benefit that the dry ice itself starts to sublimate, and that expands as well, adding even more carbon dioxide into the mixture, hopefully giving us an even bigger reaction. Here's the basic idea. We're gonna see what it takes to get the best reaction between dry ice and Coke, and then we're gonna try and scale that up to something really impressive. Here we go, we're gonna do side-by-side tests of Coke Zero, Diet Coke, and regular Coke. One at a time though. Here goes Coke Zero with 3 Mentos. Right about there, I'd say. Not bad, not bad. Decent little reaction. There it goes. Little mushroom fountain. That's fine if it goes out of screen. It's just to show it reacting is the fun part. First was Coke Zero, now is Diet Coke. 3, 2, 1. It maybe went just a smidge higher, but for the most part, the Diet Coke and the Coke Zero reacted almost exactly the same way. I would call that a noticeably smaller reaction. The Coke Zero and the Diet Coke both got to about here. The regular Coke, I'd say only 6 to 8 inches above the bottle. We got a pretty good launch, but of course we want more out of it than that. So this time, we're gonna see what happens if we constrict the opening a little bit more. This funnel here has a much smaller opening on it than our Coke bottle. We're gonna try and attach the funnel onto the top of the Coke bottle and then drop the Mentos in afterward. Now this is gonna be a little bit tricky, so here's my thought. We'll have 3 Mentos taped together just on the outside. And that tape will be attached to a piece of string which will come up through the funnel, and then we can let go, and that should drop the Mentos down in at that point, shooting our little geyser up through our much constricted funnel nozzle. Drop. 3, 1. That probably went 8 to 10 feet up in the air. This little nozzle here, the opening is probably 1/5 to 1/8 the area of the regular Coke bottle opening. So it does have to go a lot faster, and when it's going faster, it goes a lot higher. Let's move on to dry ice. Now we're moving on to dry ice, and we're gonna do 2 little tests. We're gonna do single lumps that are just barely small enough that they can fit through the nozzle of the bottle, and then we're gonna try crushing up a bunch of dry ice powder and dropping that in as well. So first up, single lumps. Coke Zero and a single lump of dry ice. Here goes. A very quick foamy reaction in this state with the single lump. It wasn't more volume and it didn't go higher than it did with the 3 Mentos, but we still, as you saw, got a very quick reaction. Same thing, Diet Coke. Once again, quick reaction, lots of volume, a lot of soda was pushed out, but it didn't go as high as it did with the Mentos. It wasn't as fast. All right, regular Coke. Dry ice, single lump. As expected, I got a lot more of the smell of the Coca-Cola with the regular as opposed to either of the diet versions. And I think we actually lost more total volume with the dry ice. It just took longer. All right, let's try powdered dry ice. My goal with the powdered dry ice is to have approximately the same volume as 3 Mentos, because I think that should give us the best comparison of the reactions. I'm gonna take the powdered dry ice from this funnel and pour it down through this funnel into the soda. We'll see what kind of reaction we get. It didn't sink. Oh, it didn't all go in either. It got frozen. All right, we're gonna try adding a little bit more. Some of it didn't quite make it through. Our funnel got a little clogged. Funnel likes to get a little bit clogged. So this is kind of interesting. We're getting a very, very quick reaction with the dust, with the really fine powdered stuff. It's actually reacting so quickly that it just hits the surface, and then there's so much bubbles and foam that the rest of the ice powder isn't actually sinking into the cola. So with these larger pieces, we're getting more of a reaction. We just have to be able to get them all in at once. So I'm gonna try filling more of those slightly larger pieces into this bottle and pouring it into this one without any of the small stuff to cause foam that'll stop it. We've got a bunch of pebble-sized pieces of dry ice, and hopefully those will all flow in and actually sink a little bit. Here goes. Yeah, kind of like that. That was a much faster reaction. Still didn't have a ton of sinking, so I don't think our height was any better than with the Mentos, but the speed of the reaction was quite impressive. That got me. This is one of the reasons we like using Diet Coke, is it doesn't have sugar in it, so it doesn't get sticky when you get coated in it. I'm still gonna wanna wash, but I won't be sticky until then. I actually think that from here, we just wanna scale this up. I wanna go big, and rather than using one of these little Coke bottles, we're going way up. We're gonna use a 5-gallon bucket. And for this larger bucket, we're gonna use our larger funnel that still has a pretty small opening right there. So here's the plan. Much like with our Mentos that we dropped into the Coke through the funnel on the string, we are going to attach our dry ice to a mesh surface. We're gonna sort of make a bag out of it. The bag will be suspended underneath the lid, and we're gonna lower it all down. We're gonna clip this lid on. There will already be several gallons of Coca-Cola inside this. I think we're gonna use the Diet Coke. I liked the reaction of that one. So, Diet Coke, several gallons. Dry ice, 10 pounds at least, whatever we can fit in between the Coke and the surface. We're gonna seal this down. We're gonna actually add some additional tape to make sure it's really strong, and we're gonna let go of the string, and hopefully we will get an almighty launch through the sky. Up to where the dry ice is will be full of Coke, and then by letting go of the strings, all of that dry ice will drop down into the Coke all at once. Hopefully we get just an absolutely insane reaction. Okay, here we go. Whole lot of Diet Coke. Hopefully we don't lose too much of the fizz by pouring it into this separate bucket. This is the last we're gonna be able to pour in before it's too high up. Okay, I'm ready when you are. 3, 2, 1. Well, in terms of volume, we had a lot. I'm gonna tip it. It's a little strong for the bucket seal. I think I can get another shot out of this. That's a weird kind of Coca-Cola gun right there. Refill a little bit, put another chunk of dry ice into that. Trying this again. Might help the lid stay on better. Might just make it louder when the lid pops off. There's the louder when the bucket pops open I was thinking might happen. And that wire mesh, which I'm sure is so healthy. Oh, it's leaking. Oh, it popped. Definitely leaked before popping. Slushy. Guys, that's not all. We've always got more for you. To see that box up at the top is going to take you to our last video. You should go check that out. The other box shows you what YouTube thinks you should be watching next. And if you hit this bomb here in the middle, you'll be subscribed to the channel. That way you're never going to miss out on one of our cool videos. Don't forget to ring that bell, and we will see you in the next one. Talk to you then.